thrusts her fingers into the back pockets of her jeans and leans against the cupboard. She's waiting, but she doesn't have to say it. She won't wait long. She nods in the direction of their bedroom. "I packed a bag for you," she says, "depending on what you decide." Nothing fills the silence between them. The Philco on the kitchen counter, which usually squawks livestock prices at this hour, sits mute. The coffee pot, whose glass top usually rattles with the percolating fresh brew, is emptied, washed, and stored in one of the boxes. On his way to the bedroom, George passes through the living room, and he steps over the blankets Margaret has wrapped and tied into tubes to serve as bedrolls. In the bedroom doorway he pauses, his gaze lingering on both what is there and what is not. The white chenille bedspread rises over the mound of one pillow, but then slopes down to flatness on the other side. The alarm clock ticks on the bedside table. If he stays, he'll need reminders of hours and obligations, while she'll be traveling to where time obeys human need, and not the other way around. On top of the bureau, the perfume bottle sits, as full as the day she took it out of its gift box. Her brush is gone. So is the framed photograph that often made him pause. His son or his grandson? Did they really look so alike as 2-year-olds? Or did they confuse him because they occupied the same space in his heart? Did Margaret even hesitate before she packed the photo? Did she ask herself, who needs this more, the one who goes or the one who stays? His suitcase yawns open on the bed, and he walks over to paw through its contents. Clean socks, a few shirts, 2 pair of dungarees, underwear, that old plaid wool railroader's vest, a bandana. The bottom layers are cold weather wear, a wool scarf and knit cap, gloves, his sheepskin-lined coat, long underwear. He leaves the suitcase open and turns back toward the kitchen, a distance that suddenly seems more exhausting than the miles he's already walked today. In the kitchen, he looks over the contents of the boxes. Canned goods, flour, beans, dry and canned, oatmeal, evaporated milk, sugar, coffee, potatoes, apples, carrots, 2 cans of Spam and a box of Velveeta. Cups, bowls, plates, forks, knives, and spoons. And that all these are in pairs tells him that she's made all the provisions for him to go. And not much left for him if he decides to stay. She's packed the cast-iron frying pan and the coffee pot, and George Blackledge loves his coffee. A wash basin, kitchen matches, a can of lard. "What do you mean to cook on?" George asks. Margaret shrugs. "An open campfire if need be. I've got a few camping things set out back, including that old wire grill you used to set up on rocks over a fire." With this speech her voice quavers, but not with emotion. For years Margaret Blackledge has had a tremor that causes her head to nod and her words to wobble. Harmless, a doctor has called it, but it's unsettling in a woman who seems in every other regard as steady as steel. George pushes the kitchen window curtain aside. Yes, she's backed their car, an old humpbacked Hudson Commodore, out of the garage, and a few more supplies for her journey lie in the grass. "You pulled out that old tent," George says. "You find the poles and stakes too?" "I believe all the pieces are there." "I could set it up," he says. "Let the sun burn some of the mildew smell out of the canvas." "I'd just as soon get going." George walks back over to the chair where her coat and hat wait. He lifts the collar of her mackinaw and rubs the wool between his fingers. "I see you've got the long underwear packed too. You planning on being gone right through the winter?" "I'm not planning on any length of time. I plan to go, that's all, and stay gone, as long as it takes." "What if Lorna says no?" George asks. "Any mother would." Margaret says nothing. "You have money?" "I went to the bank this morning." "Leave any in there?" "A little, not much." "There wasn't much to begin with." Margaret's suitcase is waiting by the back door. When she glances in its direction, George feels his eyes smart and his throat tighten. "Think this through, Margaret. What you're aiming to do—" "I'll do. You ought to know that by now."